This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
We were rolling with the waves, let them crash down on me, and you showed me the way. The best things in life are free, so it wasn't easy saying goodbye. Or would you believe me, or call it a lie? 'Cause life isn't perfect, it's beautiful still, and love makes it worth it, and love makes it worth it. We didn't know that it was magic while we had it. I wish I could go back and change the way I acted. Sometimes a happy story has an ending tragic, but I'm still thankful that these moments even happen.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, welcome to the longest running episodic safety show on the planet. No, seriously, nobody else delivers this stuff daily. Anyways, today's Friday, June the 20th of 2025, day 171st of the year, and only 100, hold on, no, somebody doesn't know how to do math around here. I think it's 164 days left to go, because it can't be 194. Right? I mean, I'm just saying. Is it? Sounds wrong. Sounds wrong. Seriously, sounds wrong. I don't know why it sounds wrong. It just does. Anyway, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. That's the kind of the way that it goes as we are doing things. Maybe it is 194. I can't even do math. Okay, so there you go. So we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, we are both combined inside of the world of the multiverse. That's just kind of the way that it goes, inside out. Yeah, good stuff. Always the good stuff. Just give me a little bit of the good life, so that's for sure. Anyway, so our show consists of safety in the news, and safety. That's kind of what we do. We talk around, hang out, and do some stuff with our people, some of our main people coming out of feature story news. And then we do our thing here. We do our thing where we do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And that is what ends up happening. So there you go. So if you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com is the easiest way to do that because there's just no other way inside of our sistema. So that's one option. Once you get their audio, video, text messaging is what are the opciones. And then today is Friday, so it's Freeform Friday. So what does that mean to you? Well, it means that we're going to talk about all the stuff we didn't get to earlier in the week. Well, why would we do anything else? Because, we don't try to make it easy around here. We try to make it as difficult sometimes as possible. Because if we did it that way, there's no other way to, to do some things. No doubt there. I mean, I don't know. We're constantly trying to do a little this, a little that. If we were doing anything else, people would be wondering what the hell's going on. And it's okay, because that's the whole point. We want people to question. We want people to wonder what we are doing. Because if we weren't, well, then we would not probably be concerned about ourselves here. So there you go. So with that being said, let's get into the multiverse of stuff going on inside of the worldo here. Let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, let's talk a little bit as what is going on in the world of the trending stuff, because trending is important. I mean, well, not trending like on social media, but trending right now.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so if I take a look at the trends at the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy. Yes, notable and noteworthy. Some clarity on the short-term future of America's role on the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict. Also, another ruling with its ends with us legal disputes and lots from the world of football and showbiz. Also, stars reveals which co-star she had a major crush on. So there you go. And Prince William and the Aussies actress team up in the Royals. So if you're ready, I think I'm ready. And let's go ahead and get into some of the news stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multi.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Iran's foreign minister is due to hold talks on Friday with counterparts from the UK, France, Germany and the EU. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy says there's a window to achieve a diplomatic solution to Iran's conflict with Israel. President Trump is set to make a decision in the next fortnight on whether the US will attack Tehran's nuclear sites. Former British ambassador in Yemen, Edmund Fitton-Brown, says it's hard to predict the outcome.
There's a certain internal logic to what the president is saying, which is that he thinks that Iran is under so much pressure that it will effectively fold and come to the negotiating table in a way that the United States could work with. But at least what we're hearing in public from the Iranians doesn't give very much ground for hope on that.
China says a British warship passing through the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday was intentional provocation. The UK says HMS Spey's route was long planned and in accordance with international law. In its first public statement since the tragedy, the owners of Air India say the plane that crashed in Ahmedabad last week was well maintained. The firm says it's fully cooperating with authorities, as Kshitij Nagar reports from New Delhi.
Engines of the Air India plane that crashed last week had, quote, clean histories, N. Chandrasekharan has said. He's the chairperson of Tata Sons, which owns Air India. He also said that one of the engines on the plane was new, while the other was not due for servicing until December. 270 people, most of them passengers, were killed last Thursday when the London-bound aircraft crashed within a minute after takeoff in the western Indian city of Ahmedabad. Investigators continue to comb through the debris to help decipher the cause of the crash, as India's aviation regulatory body has also ordered additional safety checks on the carrier's Boeing 787 fleet as a, quote, preventive measure. Kshitij Nagar, New Delhi.
The Trump administration says it will resume processing visa applications of international students and scholars, but only if they make their social media profiles public for government review. The visa process was halted in May as part of a broader crackdown on immigration. Tony Waterman reports from Washington.
Under the new guidelines, anyone seeking an F, M, or J visa will have to make their social media profiles public or face rejection. The State Department says it's on the lookout for hostile comments towards the citizens, culture, government, institutions, or founding principles of the United States. It did not explain how hostility would be determined. There are more than 1.1 million foreign students studying in the U.S., and the increased scrutiny comes amid President Trump's efforts to rein in elite universities, which he believes are incubators of liberalism.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the view of a former top American defense chief about Europe's anxieties over the conflict in Iran. Governments across Europe have been holding crisis meetings, gaming out the possible consequences for their citizens in the region and in Europe itself if Iran retaliates for efforts to wipe out its nuclear program. Retired Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt is a former Assistant Secretary of State and former Assistant Secretary of Defense in the administration of President George W. Bush. He argues Europe needs to get on board and buy in to the determination of Israel and the United States to stop Iran from ever possessing a nuclear bomb.
The fact remains is I think the countries most in danger and in range of an Iranian nuclear program would be Europe and the United Kingdom. Yes, this may be a bit of a powder keg, but it is nothing as bad as a powder keg called a nuclear-armed Iran. I suspect everybody will be joyful if the Iranian nuclear program is wiped out, particularly if it doesn't cost any lives and any treasure. Not only do wars have unintended consequences, but they do have costs.
But some European governments point out that only in March, President Trump's own Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified before Congress that the intelligence community has seen no evidence Iran is building a nuclear bomb. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Iran's foreign minister is holding talks with European counterparts in Geneva on Friday. China says a British warship passing through the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday was intentional provocation. The owners of Air India say the plane that crashed in Ahmedabad last week was well maintained, and the Trump administration says it will resume processing visa applications of international students if they make their social media profiles public for review. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice. Sold your rebellion as a new initiative. And smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission. About what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Jay Allen in the morning, weekdays on Radio Big.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Radio Big. 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yeah, streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm. No doubt about that, as we get to go inside of the world of the multiverse, inside of the stuff that is going on. No doubty-outy on that one. So let's talk about this because some people continue to ask. Yes, tickets are still available to our little event going on in Septiembre. If you're interested in coming out, hanging out, and doing some stuff here. Yeah, Conklin Conference going on September the 9th through the 11th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Conklin Conference 4. Yes, of course, Todd Conklin will be there, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jennifer T. Long, Andrea Baker, Mark Yesson, and I will be there hosting. No doubty-outy about that, as we are doing our thing. So if you're interested in going, safetyfm.com, click on live events. If not, the other option is if you are on the video streamer, scan that little QR code. It will get you to where you want to be. No doubt there. In regards of some information on what's going on, we do have a room block available at what we're staying at, hotel-wise, and where the event is. So you got some options for you. Some options going on. So, yep. SafetyFM.com, live events. Conklin Conference 4, that's September the 9th through the 11th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because why would we not do that? An MIT research team developed the first ever brain scan study for people who outsource their thinking and writing to ChatGPT, and it's grim. When asked with writing an essay, 83% of people who use the chat box to generate that response couldn't quote anything the program produced. Well, that's something. Yeah. And they didn't even read it or recognize the output that they submitted, and let the algorithm do all the work and trusted it completely. Participants who relied on ChatGPT were then prompted to write an essay without any help, and their results were worse than those that had never used the AI in the first place. As judged by English professor, using ChatGPT led to completing writing tasks 60% faster than non-users, but those who used AI saw a 32% reduction in cognitive load. the brain process of the understanding and maintaining new information. But another way, the ChatGPT reliant users were just 1/3 dumber. This is according to Alex Vaca. Meanwhile, in an address earlier the week, the Pope Father Bob Leo XIV said that the cardinals and the Vatican that artificial intelligence possesses challenges to human dignity, justice, and labor. So now it's a religious thing. No, like seriously. So some stuff there going on. No doubt about that. What a world. Like seriously, what a world.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this. For the last 2 years, trail cams posted around Montgomery County, Michigan, in the northern part of the state, spotted a bear cub wandering around a large plastic lid stuck around its neck, the kind that would cap a 55-gallon drum. Such drums are often used to bait bears, which is legal in Michigan, through any holes that must be smaller than 1 inch across. The DNR officials have attempted to approach the bear to remove in the recent months, but the cub always proved evasive until now. Late last month, the cub was spotted. Yeah, it was spotted again, and the property owned alerted the Michigan DNR, which successfully trapped and contained the cub and sedated it, and finally was able to cut off the lid. Fortunately, the analyst shows that the cub maintained a healthy weight and good health, except for scarring and abrasions on the neck, which I would imagine it had. Also, a DNR officials reminds that hunters' containers opening certain size can result in the bear and other wildlife getting their head or other body parts stuck and leading to injuries. And it is important to remember that the opening diameter is more important than the size of the container. This is according to W. Are you ready for this? WXYZ. WXYZ. More important than that. Do we want to commit to this?
Around these here parts.
This really
okay, so hold on.
Landowners having trail cameras out.
Bears, not that unusual, but this image caught on a Montmorency trail camera stood out.
2 years was a cub bear. This bear is a cub.
I don't know why there's only sound on one side.
In a blue 55-gallon plastic drum lid.
And when the property owners saw it, they spoke up.
They alerted local wildlife staff, and it started a kind of a hunt for it over the next 2 years.
For 2 years,
okay.
The bear lived its life with that blue lid.
But I mean, we get it.
Around its growing neck.
Couldn't have been enjoyable to have the lid
okay.
around its neck.
I think we get the point. Okay, cool. So let's continue talking about some other stuff. Working remote and looking for a change of scenery. Let's see. Paducah, Kentucky wants you. If you currently live at least 100 miles away and have a full-time job for a company that has no local office and commit to living for a year after relocation program ends, you're in luck. Once approved, the city will reimburse your moving expenses, waive your payroll tax for a year, and give you $70 a month to put towards your internet. Get a gift card worth $1,000 worth of memberships of local museums and attractions, and spots are limited, though. The city only set aside $100,000 for the initiative, geared towards attracting new residents. This is according to New York Post. Where the hell is Paducah, Kentucky? Paducah, Kentucky, and this is even something you'd be interested in doing. I mean, do you work remote? I mean, I guess we work remote. A lot of people work remote, I guess is the way that it works. But Paducah, I don't know anything about Paducah. I can't say anything bad about them. I mean, I can't say anything good either because I don't know anything about the place besides that it's in Kentucky. There you go. Okay, Spain's anti-tourism bent continues with a court upholding the tight regulations that block nearly 60 66,000 Airbnb listings in the country. Airbnb filed a suit last month after the government ordered the company to shut down 65,935 listings for various violations. Spain's government requires hosts to get licensed and specify whether the property is owned personally or through a company. The government contends that the shuttered listings violates these terms and posted incorrect data. European nations' government has taken increasing actions to curb the inflows of tourism after the Spanish registered 94 million visitors from abroad in 2024, and it's on track to exceed that number this year. As much as Spain's economy thrives on tourism, its consumer rights minister says that the government's priority must be constitutional rights of the Spanish people. This is according to AP News. So what do you think? I don't think this is going to drive me to want to go to Spain anytime soon. That's kind of the way that I look at it. What do you think about the whole thing? Nothing against Spain. I'm not picking, but if it's this difficult, people are not being super happy about tourism going in there, well, maybe that just becomes an issue overall.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, don't touch the manatees. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office wants Florida beachgoers to know that if they came across a clump of manatees gathered together just off the shore, they should not approach it. If you see this, do not, let's see. If you see this, no, you didn't. The sheriff's office captured on a clip of the gathering on Instagram. Don't call us. They are more than fine. It's mating season. They also reminded people that manatees are protected under the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973, which makes it illegal to harass, hunt, capture, or kill marine mammals. Violations are punishable up to $50,000 and 1 year in prison. This is according to the Pinellas Sheriff's Department as we are talking. So there you go. Some stuff always going on here in Florida land. Some stuff going on right there always. So, yeah, you definitely don't want to be messing with manatees, period, but you definitely don't want to be messing with manatees during mating season. Duh. That's for sure, so just keep that in mind. Okay, what else is going on? Now, let's see. Let's get into the swamp. President Trump appears to have favored diplomacy before involving the American military in the Israel-Iran conflict. During Thursday's press briefing, the White House press secretary shared the statement from the president that said, based on the fact that there is a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place in Iran in the near future, I'll make the decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks. Let's see, what else? Caroline said that the American intelligence suggests that Iran could produce a nuclear weapon within weeks if it chose to, though it has been a narrative for decades. So there you go. What else is going on? Let's take a look at the Dow, or let's take a look at the numbers, is probably better saying. So let's do that. The Dow lost about 44 points to close at 42,171 on Thursday. The S&P ticked down by 1 point to close at 5,980, and the Nasdaq gained 25 points to close at 19,546. West Texas Intermediate closed at $75 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $78 a barrel, and the national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.20 on Thursday. Bitcoin was mostly flat on the day, trading around $104,000. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $302 million jackpot or $136 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be for $118 million jackpot or a $53.4 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So are you ready for this? Guess what we're going to talk about? Are you ready? We're going to talk about some It Ends With Us drama, because I told you that we're going to be talking about it for the next damn year in regards of all this stuff, because it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away anytime soon. We know this. Okay, so a judge ruled that Justin Baldini's attorney can see text messages between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift, but only those that relate to the ongoing It Ends With Us drama. Lively previously requested the communication be off the table, accusing Baldoni of using friendships to prop up public relations narrative outside of the court. The judge shot down the request, saying that there may be some messages that are relevant to the case. This is according to TMZ. So you see, the little texter extra stuff could play a factor later on as we are talking. I mean, I kind of knew this.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, we always knew that too stupid was a thing. No doubt about that. REO Speedwagon frontman Tara Luttrell totaled his car after falling asleep behind the wheel following the band show in Illinois early Sunday morning. The airbag went off and cracked my sternum a little bit, he told the News Gazette. I have a little back pain and neck pain. The band performed at the State Farm Center on Saturday night as part of the Legacy REO Speedwagon farewell concert. No word of any legal issues. Also, Terry may face from the crash. So there you go. What else do we got? Businessman Mark Walter is buying the Lakers for $10 billion from current owners, the Buss family. The sale is the largest ever in U.S. sports franchise. Waller is also the primary owner and chairman of the Dodgers and has financial interests in several other sports teams. This is according to the New York Post. So there you go. Also, in some other news, Kylie Kels does not play when it comes to fans drooling over her husband's former Eagles player, Jason Kels. I'm gonna need you to sit down, put your tongues back in your mouth, and be respectful. The man is a father to my children, she said on her Not Gonna Lie podcast this week. The warning comes in response of thirsty fans who have been posting and reacting to thirst traps of Jason. While Kylie says that she agrees with their description, he is all hers till the end of time. So there you go. Also, Sabrina Carpenter is considering banning cell phones from her concerts going forward. This will honestly piss off my fans, she tells the Rolling Stones, while explaining that she has got a lot of ideas from Silk Sonic show that she attended in Las Vegas, where fans were asked to lock up their devices. I've never had a better experience at a concert, she continued. I generally felt like I was back in the 70s. Wasn't I alive? So, I mean, was she alive? I don't think so. It literally just felt so beautiful, this is what she told Rolling Stone. So, there you go. Just kind of some weird stuff, I would say. I mean, think about it for a moment. So, I'm kind of like indifferent about that, because I understand where people just want us to be on their phone recording the moment, which is kind of weird, but you're not living in the moment. And let's be realistic. How often do you go back and watch that shit anyways? I'm just saying. So there you go. Anyways, with that being said, it is 32 minutes past top of the hour, but it is Freeform Friday. So you know what that means? That means we got some more news for you. Some more news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Iran's foreign minister is due to hold talks on Friday with counterparts from the UK, France, Germany and the EU. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy says there's a window to achieve a diplomatic solution to Iran's conflict with Israel. President Trump is set to make a decision in the next fortnight on whether the US will attack Tehran's nuclear sites. Former British ambassador in Yemen, Edmund Fitton-Brown, says it's hard to predict the outcome.
There's a certain internal logic to what the president is saying, which is that he thinks that Iran is under so much pressure that it will effectively fold and come to the negotiating table in a way that the United States could work with. But at least what we're hearing in public from the Iranians doesn't give very much ground for hope on that.
China says a British warship passing through the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday was intentional provocation. The UK says HMS Spey's route was long planned and in accordance with international law. In its first public statement since the tragedy, the owners of Air India say the plane that crashed in Ahmedabad last week was well maintained. The firm says it's fully cooperating with authorities, as Kshitij Nagar reports from New Delhi.
Engines of the Air India plane that crashed last week had, quote, clean histories, N. Chandrasekharan has said. He's the chairperson of Tata Sons, which owns Air India. He also said that one of the engines on the plane was new, while the other was not due for servicing until December. 270 people, most of them passengers, were killed last Thursday when the London-bound aircraft crashed within a minute after takeoff in the western Indian city of Ahmedabad. Investigators continue to comb through the debris to help decipher the cause of the crash, as India's aviation regulatory body has also ordered additional safety checks on the carrier's Boeing 787 fleet as a, quote, preventive measure. Kshitij Nagar, New Delhi.
The Trump administration says it will resume processing visa applications of international students and scholars, but only if they make their social media profiles public for government review. The visa process was halted in May as part of a broader crackdown on immigration. Tony Waterman reports from Washington.
Under the new guidelines, anyone seeking an F, M, or J visa will have to make their social media profiles public or face rejection. The State Department says it's on the lookout for hostile comments towards the citizens, culture, government, institutions, or founding principles of the United States. It did not explain how hostility would be determined. There are more than 1.1 million foreign students studying in the U.S., and the increased scrutiny comes amid President Trump's efforts to rein in elite universities, which he believes are incubators of liberalism.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the view of a former top American defense chief about Europe's anxieties over the conflict in Iran. Governments across Europe have been holding crisis meetings, gaming out the possible consequences for their citizens in the region and in Europe itself if Iran retaliates for efforts to wipe out its nuclear program. Retired Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt is a former Assistant Secretary of State and former Assistant Secretary of Defense in the administration of President George W. Bush. He argues Europe needs to get on board and buy in to the determination of Israel and the United States to stop Iran from ever possessing a nuclear bomb.
The fact remains is I think the countries most in danger and in range of an Iranian nuclear program would be Europe and the United Kingdom. Yes, this may be a bit of a powder keg, but it is nothing as bad as a powder keg called a nuclear-armed Iran. I suspect everybody will be joyful if the Iranian nuclear program is wiped out, particularly if it doesn't cost any lives and any treasure. Not only do wars have unintended consequences, but they do have costs.
But some European governments point out that only in March, President Trump's own Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified before Congress that the intelligence community has seen no evidence Iran is building a nuclear bomb. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Iran's foreign minister is holding talks with European counterparts in Geneva on Friday. China says a British warship passing through the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday was intentional provocation. The owners of Air India say the plane that crashed in Ahmedabad last week was well maintained, and the Trump administration says it will resume processing visa applications of international students if they make their social media profiles public for review. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com. It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on LinkedIn.com/SafetyFM. That's LinkedIn.com/SafetyFM to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Listen Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Always replicated, but never duplicated. Rated R Safety Show.
We were rolling with the waves. Let them crash down on me. And you showed me the way. The best things in life are free. So it wasn't easy saying goodbye. Or would you believe me? Or call it a lie? 'Cause life isn't perfect. It's beautiful still.
Okay, here we are, 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Yeah, we're still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. This is definitely the Friday version of this thing. Giving you a little bit of everything inside of the multiverse. By the way, this right here playing, this is Luco with Think of Summer. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Would like for you to be thinking about the summer right now. I was definitely thinking about the summer last week. Living it up, if you know what I'm saying. Always a good time-o. Anyways, give this one a little streamer action. Readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify. Thanks for Luco for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. Always thankful for when we get to play some new music, no doubt. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Our Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. Yeah, once that happens, you'll be there inside of the multiverse of all kinds of information related to anxiety, depression, addiction, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms, and click on the section that says Find Help. Yep, little great information right there as we are hanging out and talking. Anyways, let's talk about some other stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse. New movies coming out this week, 28 Years. A group of survivors of the rage virus live in a small island. When one leaves the island of the mission into the mainland, he discovers the secrets and wonders the horror that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors. It's rated R, of course, horror mystery. Also, Ello comes out today, PG Kids family movie. Ello, a space fanatic with an active imagination, finds himself at a cosmic misadventure where he must form new bonds with alien life forms, navigate a crisis of intergalactic proportions, and somehow discover who he truly is meant to be. Also in another movie, Brideheart. Yeah, Brideheart. It's an action comedy where a mercenary group takes a lavish wedding hostage, and they have no idea what they're in for, as the maid of honor is actually a secret agent ready to rain hellfire upon anyone who ruined her best friend's wedding. So there you go. Okay, swearing isn't just being rude. Our brains actually use curse words to vent, connect, and cope. New research analyzing over 1.7 billion words online found that swearing can build social bonds and boost resilience. The study looked at the English across 20 regions and found 597 different swear words forms from what the fuck to well, about only one I can say. And it was found that Americans swear most online, beating the Brits and Australians despite the U.S. having some conservative views in public morality. Aussies, often top-tier swearers, were most creative but held back online. And it turns out that native English speakers swear more with more flair than those who speak a second language. The bottom line is that swearing is the most is part of being human. It's bonding and funny and sometimes poetic. And trying to ban it could makes it stronger. Freaking ironic, huh? Isn't it? So there you go. Let's talk about some things that are a little bit more positive, and let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Pat. Walt Disney said, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." I love this. I've spent time with talkers and I've spent time with doers. I'll admit, I'm both. I love to talk about ideas, but I also love to actually do these things. I've done some things that have worked out really well, but I've also done some things that, well, they didn't quite work out. I'm still very glad that I did them. Otherwise, I'd never know if they would have worked or not. Expect to succeed, but accept it when you don't. And remember, failure is not the end. It might actually be a new beginning. You may have found one way that didn't work, but who knows? Maybe another way will.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. The ultimate purpose of friendship is not accountability, but nurture. True friends hold each other accountable, to be sure, yet if that becomes a primary focus of the relationship, the friendship will not long survive. The bread that nourishes friendship is acceptance, not accountability. True friends strengthen each other in the Lord. 1 Samuel 23 said, "And Saul's son Jonathan went to David at Horesh and helped him find strength in God." Lord Jesus, teach us to be true friends who accept each other and help each other find strength in God. In your holy name I pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
The streets of Tehran have fallen silent as overnight Israeli strikes continue.
Communications have become unreliable and no public shelters are open to civilians. Residents now spend nights in metro stations due to fear of fresh bombardment. Businesses remain shuttered and authorities are urging calm amid escalating tensions. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Emergency teams in Kiev have recovered more bodies after a Russian missile struck a 9-story apartment building. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
The death toll from the attack has climbed to 28. Most of the victims were inside the collapsed building when the strike occurred. Officials report that 23 people died within the structure, with 5 others killed elsewhere in the city.
Tension continued to rise along the Cambodia-Thailand border following last month's border clash.
Tens of thousands gathered in Phnom Penh to express solidarity with Cambodia's military and government. The demonstration highlights the deepening dispute sparked by territorial claims. Diplomats from both nations remain engaged in talks to ease tensions. Chris Anderson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
U.S. jobless claims dropped to 245,000 last week, marking historically low levels according to the Labor Department.
That figure fell from 250,000 the previous week. Economists had anticipated claims to remain steady at 250,000, but the 4-week rolling average reached 245,500, the highest since August 2023. The total number of Americans receiving unemployment benefits also declined. Lawrence Keller reporting.
All 50 U.S. states have now endorsed Purdue Pharma's proposed $7 billion settlement to resolve thousands of opioid lawsuits.
The settlement could soon advance in court. The deal includes a fund intended to aid communities affected by opioid addiction. If approved, proceeds would support addiction treatment and prevention efforts nationwide. Kyle Norris reporting.
Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel have finalized a $15 billion agreement that incorporates national security oversight.
This historic partnership follows an acquisition proposal made 18 months ago. Under the deal, the U.S. government will retain influence over certain strategic decisions. The transaction signals a major shift in global steel industry dynamics. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The U.S. military has begun deploying aircraft and naval vessels to the Middle East to shield Israel from potential Iranian retaliation. The move comes amid heightened regional alert. President Trump has warned that U.S. patience with Iran is wearing thin, raising concerns about possible expanded military involvement. Officials are now weighing whether to deploy bunker-busting bombs against key Iranian nuclear facilities.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big, mastering the art of putting music on shuffle. Radio Big.
What are you trying to say? That's not a level of mastery? I think it is. I mean, come on, man. What are we saying here? Okay, so let's go back to this date. Back in 1975, Steven Spielberg burst onto the movie scene with the release of Jaws. The shark-centric horror story quickly became one of the highest-grossing films ever during its tremendous run in the theater. The buzz and the hype eventually led to it winning a smattering Academy Award for the year. Since then, Spielberg has, of course, become one of the most prolific directors in American history. That happened back on this date in 1975. Also, some birthdays going on today. Sage the Gemini, 33 today. Christopher Mintz-Plays turns 36. Tika Supter, 45. Quentin Jackson, 47. Nicole Kidman turns 58. Michael Landron Jr. turns 61. Michael Anthony, 71. Brian J. Duffy, 72. What else? John Goodman turned 73 and Lionel Richie turned 76. That's all birthdays going on today and that era. Let's see. If you're looking at a day of the year to celebrate, American Eagle Day, Ugliest Dog Day, International Surfing Day, Take a Road Trip Day, Take Your Dog to Work Day. So a lot of stuff to do for today, if you put it in that particular fashion. What else do we got? If you need a rando for you today. Yeah, if you need a random joke, I need summer to even be longer so I have more time to do nothing. If you don't like that one, you can try this one. When older people say enjoy them while you're young, they're talking about your hips and knees and not your kids, just in case. Also, if you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What sound most exemplifies summer to you? If you don't like that one, try this one. What famous person are you a little too obsessed with? I think we already know. I don't think I have to share that. Okay, if you need a question for the water cooler, try this one. 50% of children who live in the city have never done this summer activity. What is it? Roasted a marshmallow, just in case. Anyways, one more time, in case you do not know, the Signal Trilogy transmission is available out there, all in one giant bookasoid, hardback. If you're interested in it. Yep, available on Amazon, the Signal Transmission Trilogy, all three in one, the only version that will do of that one as we are going. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Friday, Freeform Friday, that is. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If that's not the case, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he's talking about the world of safety consulting. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one, and it sounds something like this. A perfect summer day is when the sun is shining, the breeze is blowing, and the birds are singing, and the lawn mower is broken. Think about it that way. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Things in life are free, so it wasn't easy saying goodbye. Or would you believe me, or call it a lie? 'Cause life isn't perfect, it's beautiful still, and love makes it worth it. Love makes it worth it.